What's up? What's up?
So glad that you're here. We've been talking a bit about how important yoga is. And so I really just thank you for giving this show some of your time to bring some of these tips out to our community and to our families. You've been out here teaching yoga and mindfulness practices for a while now. Tell us a bit about some of the things you do so the audience can get caught up on your amazing work.
Well, starting with going into the juvenile incarceral settings and doing trauma informed yoga for them. That's really been my push this summer, is getting into our future and saying, here's something that you can unpack and process with me. I'm a lived expert. I've been in prison. I'm out. I'm doing this work. And this is what it looks like for Black and brown folks. This is how you become mindful for yourself, your individual, unique trauma. I honor that. I honor that. I'm not going to group you in and say, oh, all you all are here. This is going to be a panacea for all of y'all. Now, I need that individual, that one-on-one time. And who better than me coming in there, having children the same age, having been through these systems of harm, right? And now here I am with you, watching you grow and shine. And we know we come from the same thing. And what has been missing from our community and our well-being is being able to tune in mindfully with self. Where's your breath at? Where's your body? Where's the tension at? Where's the joy at? Where's the well-being at? You know, there's life skills that I'm learning on this path of yoga that embodies my ancestors, that embodies my community. And so that's my drive.
Yeah.
That's my drive.
Well, you've also been doing it for a long time, like in terms of practicing yoga. So, you didn't just come across this recently and say, oh, let me start teaching. Tell us a bit about your journey to get you to where you are today, because you've been doing it for a while.
Right. The years are starting to blend. I think it's about 8.5 years now. Yoga came to me at a time mentally. It's called Jnana Yoga, for the mind, for knowledge. It came to me when I was experiencing some trauma while incarcerated. My children were struggling. My daughter was struggling, and I had no access physically. And I had to go within myself. And that's when the very small seed was planted in my consciousness that I am deserving of greatness, that I am better than my adverse childhood experiences. And going deep and surrendering in that process, I was able to start moving my body and connecting it with my mind. Yoga, in some definitions, stands for yoke or union. Union, the union of your body, your breath, and your mind. How do we get connected so that there's a seamless flow of energy? We've been disconnected in my community, in your community, our community. We've been desensitized to normalcy. It's normal to be hearing gunshots as you go to sleep. It's normal to go to school with an empty stomach. It's normal to be occupationally orphaned by your single parent or both parents, because we're in this race of what? Capital gain? No, it's financial literacy time. But if I can't be literate with my own emotional being, how can I be literate with something outside of me?
Yeah, this is so important. And, I really am excited because right here already, this is just week 2 of the Day with Trae. And last week we had 2 professionals on talking about health and wellness. Today, you. And I just think it's so important that we hear this in a multitude of ways from different sources, because everybody brings something additional to the forefront about how we're caring for ourselves and our communities. And I really appreciate you cementing it and formulating it in that way that we've really become used to certain things. How are you experiencing the youth in the juvenile systems? How are you experiencing their receptivity to what you're bringing? Because oftentimes there's a barrier, I think, particularly around yoga, where a lot of young folks don't see that it's going to be beneficial to them. So how do you first come in and break down some of those barriers they may have?
Well, shout out to Yoga Behind Bars, Seattle nonprofit organization that has fostered and supported me in my reintegration. And so they gave me that opportunity to be able to go into these juvenile facilities. And I come in vulnerable, transparent, that I'm coming in as me, someone that was incarcerated for a substantial amount of time. And I tell them right off hey, I've been here.
Yeah.
I know what this looks like. I know what it feels like. I may come out with a spoken word. This last training workshop that we did, 90% black and brown folks.
Wow.
Nine in between the ages of 18 and 24.
Mm.
And when we were done and we read these survey results, these kids said, bring back the yoga. Come back, please. More yoga, more yoga. The guy with spoken word. Hey, the lived experts. They're saying this is what connects. I can de-stress in a place. Let me share. One individual said, for the first time in my life, I was able to relax. And when I left this place mentally, I went back to my childhood, the most loving and caring moments of my childhood. This individual said this while being incarcerated.
Wow.
That's amazing.
You know what? This is the kind of stuff. Oh my gosh, straight goosies. This is the kind of stuff that I love hearing, because us doing something is one thing, but providing an impact is a completely other thing. And I'll say that even just this weekend, I was a coach for a journalism camp through Africa Town and the William Grove Center. And it was phenomenal, because working with young people who had maybe never worked in media or tried to do any content creation, you know, we ended up having more students than I even thought was possible, raising their hand saying, now I'm thinking about a career in media. Now I'm thinking about a career as a content creator. And it was that right there, that impact of what we had brought to them. Because it wasn't just them, oh, my mom told me to come here to this thing and now I got to do this thing. Or for you, you know, them being like, well, the CEOs have made this available to me, so I guess I got to come. But there's so much that we learn as, you know, guiders of a lot of this knowledge of, you know, leading these kinds of workshops. It's about the impact that what that people are walking away with.
The embodiment of that. You're
Exactly.
embodying greatness, Trae. I want to acknowledge that and lift that up in this
Thank you.
space. You know, give the flowers when they're due. You're embodying greatness. I'm embodying Black wellness, and us together is Black wellness dipped in
Yeah,
greatness, right?
there we go.
Come on, we're out here and
Yeah.
we're doing the work. And that's the point, is that impact needs people looking like us
Yeah.
so that we can connect. There's a disconnect in our community, and it was strategic.
Yeah.
But we are the workers, we are the stewards, we are the embodiment of what Black excellence looks like.
Yeah, well, I also really I thank you so much for saying that, Faraji. I receive it wholeheartedly, and I really appreciate it. And I'll say one thing you said that really resonates with me is that so much of what you're doing is just tapping back in to like ancestral practices. This is really a recurring thing, because I think a lot of things are starting to come out to the forefront about how a lot of our ancient civilizations understood the need for health and wellness in these holistic ways, and these approaches to it are very strategic and maybe varied. However, they all have this center value of, you know, being well with the mind, with the psyche, with the body, with the spirit, right? All of that is this interconnectedness at play that I love seeing come about into our communities. You know, tell us, you know, one tip that people can take away today, something maybe they can start incorporating into their daily practice with regard to what you know about the benefits of yoga.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Goosies, as she says. Thank you so much for that question there. One tip: consistency is key. Definitely. We should make sure that we're consistent in our practice. And one practice that I would like to bestow the people tuning in is that when you go to sleep, when you lay down tonight, practice tensing up your left foot, your right foot, your left leg. Tense it up as tense as you can. Tense your body up and exhale and feel the difference between a tense body and an untense body. And learn how to tense your hands, your heart, your neck. You'll feel it in your back. You'll feel it in your shoulders. You'll feel it in your mind. And exhale out, surrender. Just breathe out, I surrender. And let all that tension go. If you can do that practice for 60 seconds, you will see in a short amount of time, just with consistency, 21 days, a different in your sleeping pattern, a different in your waking state, because you're releasing subtly the tension that's built up, maybe for years,
Mm.
maybe for decades. Just that little practice. And if they want more, they know where to find me. I'm going to be with Trae.
Yeah, this is really exciting because I'll tell you that for me, there's so many things that I have incorporated into my own health and wellness. And I always talk about this because it means that I get to be an example for my two sons, right? And so they can understand it at a young age. And I'm really grateful because something you just said there about tensing up and releasing the tension. When you are intentional about it, right? You're now connecting your mind to the activities of the body. And therein is where that interconnectedness, when you're talking about that unity, that's really where it comes into play. Because I think we do, many of us carry tension in our shoulders. We don't know it until we're intentional about releasing it, right?
Yes.
Or, making sure that our mind is connecting to the tense areas of our body. And when we release the tension, we're actually submitting to the will that is really responsible for guiding us through all of this. So there's so much connectivity there with what you said. And I really appreciate that, Faraji. I also really just want to thank you for the work that you are doing. And like you said, shout out to Yoga Behind Bars. What an amazing organization to bring yoga to people that are dealing with incarceration, the justice system, whatever. But I'm so grateful that you are making time in your day to come down here to our studio, the Black Media Matters Studios, to, make sure that our audience is getting connected with these tips. If folks out there want to connect with you, you can look right there and make sure they know how to find you, how they figure out if you're doing workshops that are open to the public. How can they connect, Faraji?
Connect with these goosebumps Trae's giving me. Faraji Bhakti at yogabehindbars.org. You can email me there. You also can go to my personal my personal Instagram site at AUMTHEGOD, and just tap in. I'm available. I make myself available because I'm obligated to my community and bringing health, wellness, and mindfulness to the people.
Oh my goodness, Faraji, thank you again so much. I can't wait till the next episode when you're on. We're going to be doing mindfulness Mondays twice a month. And I am so grateful to you for being dedicated to this being another platform that you get to utilize to spread mindfulness to the community. Thank you so much.
Ashe, namaste, sister.
There it is. Oh my